Welcome to Let's Get Pivotal, the show that gives you a first-hand inside look in the dental industry. I'm Keo Patel, and today we're talking about digital dentistry for the daily clinical application. With us today is Dr. Jimi Lie and my co-host Ross Lee.
Hi everyone, my name is Ross Lee. Happy to be on the show again. Welcome Dr. Jimi Lie.
Hi guys, thank you for inviting me to the show. Yeah, my name is Dr. Jimi Lie. So my qualifications are a BDS from AIMS. I'm a locally graduate, and followed by a MSc in restorative and aesthetic dentistry. My job is actually a dentist by day, technician by night. And in between, I speak for several companies on very specialized topics. I'm working clinically as a general practitioner for the past, I think, almost a decade. Yeah, I have a special interest in aesthetics, implants, surgeries, laboratories, and of course, digital dentistry. Yeah, that's why we are here, right? So, I do have a lab which produces surgical guides and prosthetic components which are related to it. So yeah, I'm doing everything digital, including smile design and mockups, aligners, and of course 3D model editings, and etc. etc. I also do some time to time visiting assistant for guided surgeries, and especially for doctors which are very new to guided surgery. And sometimes when you've designed a guide, but the user may not know or how to use it accurately. So I do actually visit clinics to actually help out. And of course also for complex cases, like all on 4 immediate loading, right? So my clients range from academicians, meaning people that work in the universities, experienced doctors and new doctors alike.
So it sounds like Dr. Lie, you're like a one-man show that does just about everything. I love it. You provide like hands-on training, provide the service, 3D printing.
Yeah, I have to say you have a very wide portfolio. If you go to anywhere, you have a very big portfolio. You pretty much cover a lot of things. That's really amazing.
Yeah, I mean aligners, implants, surgical guides.
There are pros and cons.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I wish that I'm unable to do many things so that I can actually focus on just one thing.
So actually, I was looking at a little bit of you online as well. I actually even saw your composite work as well. Your composite work actually looks really, really nice. How you can blend it into the tooth structure, etc. I'm just actually very curious. How was that? Was that easy to learn? Was that easy? How did you pick it up? Was it a lot of practice?
Yes, actually, I mean, frankly speaking, it's nice to see online, right? Because you see the before and after. But rarely does one notice that we have to spend a lot of time practicing. I used to practice up to midnight after work, after working hours. That was my life, which is equivalent to no life. So I'm pretty sure you guys are also doing that, right? I mean, that works. I mean, when they just chuck you a new software, it doesn't just work that way. I mean, you guys are doing amazing things, but you need to spend the equal amount of time learning it, polishing it.
Correct.
Carry out.
There's like a great journey involved with anything that requires any sort of finesse, especially something like composites and build-ups. Like that's artistry. It's a skill.
So, Dr. Jimi Lie, I just want to ask, what are you doing in your daily practice now that I do believe you have a 3D printer in your practice, which is amazing. It's good for you. So, what do you do with the 3D printers on a daily basis?
Okay. So for in my clinic currently, I just actually I do more than just 3D printing. I do everything related to digital. I'm just exploring currently. But in relation to 3D printing, so what am I doing now? I think I'm doing relatively anything possible with the 3D printing, like surgical guides, printing models, dentures, temporary tooth prosthesis, aligners, of course, and then sometimes I also do some of these experiments. It may be dental or non-dental related. For example, recently I've been testing out I've been printing my own surgical suctions because I didn't like the tip which was available in the market, so I just printed one of them. So these are the things that I'm doing with 3D printing. I'm not sure if there's other possibilities. I think maybe in the future when printing ceramics are possible, maybe I'll be printing that too.
Yeah. Maybe one day ceramics, because there are definitely 3D printers out there currently that can sort of do ceramics. I think the Formlabs is one of them actually. But it's yeah, I think it's the shrinking factor. There's a lot of issues with the resin still R&D. But I mean, from what you're describing, you pretty much cover the entire gauntlet. You pretty much do everything possible in dental with a 3D printer. That's
I'm a greedy person.
oh, I think you're a curious person, you know, and I think that is what sometimes is required for for the fire to be ignited. You have to be curious about things, and it's good actually in our Malaysian market. We are starting to see signs of that. But so here, yeah. So here's the question though: how did you get started?
I started off approximately 3 to 4 years ago when I bought a toy FDM printer. Monoprice Select, familiar? Does it sound familiar to you? No, right? Because
not
you,
heard.
No, I've not heard
you
of
guys
it.
deal with
No,
big stuff. You don't
not
play with toys.
That's not true. You know, we do actually do quite a lot of research behind other printers. We keep up with the industry, see what's happening. But I think what's happened is there are so many printer companies and so many printer brands
Yes.
that
Yeah. Because back then, when about 3 to 4 years ago, I think 3D printing was still very costly. So these were the guys who actually came up with a very friendly budget 3D printer, but it was FDM. So actually, I started off back then. I bought a printer because I want a 3D printer. There was no reason for that. No, seriously, I didn't know what to do with it. I bought it. I know how to use it, but I have been looking for things to print. So back then, everybody's printing figurines. You know, yeah, I have no interest in that, and I do not know what to print. I just left it there for a couple of months, and then it came. I think that time was there was a headlines on news that a university student managed to print a lioness for himself.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
I've
there was
seen
one
that.
case,
Yes,
right?
in America. Yeah.
Okay, that was actually one of the a case that actually inspired me to actually to print my own aligners too. So and it so happened I had a case, and so I printed. I did some 3D design on Mesh Mixer, and after I printed it out with the FDM printer, convert it into a stone model because FDM printer can't withstand temperature, right? The suck down. So I have to convert it to a stone model first before I do a suck down, and then I trim a tray, and then I get one aligner. So
Wow.
that was
so you actually went the reverse way,
Yeah,
right? Went from
yeah.
digital to analog to
Yeah. It's digital, analog, and digital again. Wow. Because I mean, like I have no choice. I couldn't afford a LCD printer back then, and I think back then printers are not that wallet friendly. Yeah. So other than that, actually, I was also having the fear of being left out, much like the community currently. I mean, everybody's fear of getting left out by this digital dentistry. So I wanted to do something digital related, something relevant. So I started off with also mock-ups. Doing some very just tiny digital jobs on the Mesh Mixer, which is free. I mean, I have to start with a minimal budget. And then soon I started off with R2 CAD by MegaGen. I mean, like it's also a CAD software which is 1 week free trial. That's how I started off with a professional, inverted commas, professional software. Yeah, and then soon I actually bought a LCD printer, my first ever LCD printer, which would cost approximately about $2,000. And then I started using BSB, Blue Sky Bio, and then I never looked back. So currently I'm using more and more powerful softwares, and I'm also upgrading my printer along the way.
Yeah, I think that's quite amazing. I think honestly, to our listeners today, I think you can also be quite an inspiration to dentists or young dentists who are starting up in this very competitive market. That just because maybe you don't have the budget to spend on these expensive equipment, it does not mean that you cannot actually test out and participate and get yourself involved in like baby steps. You start small, then you slowly grow into what you are today. So I think definitely you will be an inspiration to people who listen to you and look at where have you started and where you've come from until where you are today, which is definitely really
No,
great.
it's quite true.
Yeah.
And I think you really pinpointed something really important that I've noticed in my travels and my work, which is that there's a lot of fear of missing out going on. We're all sort of millennials here, so FOMO, right? There's a lot of that going around. But my advice in the position I am, I'm a reseller for a lot of digital stuff. I would say that if there's somewhere to start with just a scanner, because that's your gateway into everything. You can do it by going through a 3D printing, of course, but that would also then involve actually learning how to design. And I think it's easier to go from just enjoying the scanning experience and then progressing into design. That's an easier way. But you're a special clinician, Dr. Lie. Digital.
Thank you for the kind
No,
words.
it's good because digital to analog to digital is pretty crazy.
But I have to agree that dental scanners, be it intraoral or extraoral, is actually the beginning, is the key to actually to start this journey. So what did I do when back then when I did not have any dental scanners? So I have to outsource to somebody, and back at that time I was actually beginning to do surgical guides for myself, and then I find that there was too long a delay when I send a case and they have to scan it and then to send it back to me. Some of the labs are even reluctant to do it. So sometimes I have to personally just go to the lab and scan it myself. So I went up to the point that I actually converted my stone models to STL file using cone beam CT. So what did I do was actually I will take the CT scan, uh, save it as a DCM file, convert it to STL, and then use it as a surgical guide. And then yeah,
So once
crazy,
again,
right?
you went like the most difficult route possible to get to the end point.
But I have no choice,
actually,
Yeah, really have no choice.
what you did was right because you made full use of what you have in front of you. You don't, just because you don't have it, it doesn't make you stop. You are, yeah, you don't give up. You're able to think, hey, look at what I have in my clinic today. I can actually use this. I'm gonna try it, and I think that is a really really good mindset that you have.
Thank you, thank you. But I think this is you. I mean, if you were curious, how did I get here? I mean, what how did you get? I mean, this idea of using this, let's say, for example, a cone beam CT for a scan. I mean, my answer is that when you do not have a choice,
You find a way.
yeah, that's right. You find it or you die. Yeah.
I like that. Find it or you die. Yeah.
So right now, like, what are you progressively aiming for? Like today, and then for the future, what are you progressively aiming for, in yourself?
I hope that I can start to innovate things. You know the adopting curve. There are innovators, early adopters, early majorities, and then
Yep.
late
Yep.
majority and the slackers, right? So I noticed that unconsciously I've been moving up the ladder. I used to be a late majority. Then after that, I started to somehow or other, I do not know how it happened, but soon I became an early majority in learning a few things. I mean, I'm not referring to digital dentistry, but I think currently I'm actually approaching. I think I'm currently an early adopter now.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm
You,
not sure.
you,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think once again, as the pattern seems to be with you, Dr. Lai, you are an early adopter
Yeah.
But you became an early adopter without an intraoral scanner. You got to like early adoption on the CAD side and on the production side
Yeah.
before you even like actually got to the beginning. It's
Yes, it's unusual, right?
unusual.
No, because you know why? Because I believe that intraoral scanners, the price will drop.
yeah.
That was the reason why I did not commit to a intraoral scanner. Because, yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about that.
Yeah,
but
no
I
worries.
think,
Yeah, fair enough.
I think now currently the price of intraoral scanner are getting more affordable. I mean, more realistic, especially the trios, right? Now you have
Thank you
now
for
you
that.
have a
Yes,
refurbished
yeah.
units. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
So yeah, I'm hopeful that I can actually start to innovate to take one step higher to start to innovate things. I mean, yeah, that's what I hope. Yeah. To move on progressively. Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. So Dr. Lai, what's the next step in digital dentistry for you?
So currently, as you know, I have a small lab providing surgical guides. I hope that actually I can grow into one of the main guide maker in Malaysia, or hopefully a regional. I'm not sure, but someone to provide one of the. I do not know how to explain this, but
Go to person to provide guides.
yeah, probably one of the all right. Apart from AutoTech, I can be one of the other guy that I can actually provide you the very accurate surgical guides. So next, I'll be also moving on to milling. I hope that I can get a milling machine and start, to spice things up a little bit. By adding a milling machine, the whole game changes. So for now, I'm doing
Yep.
everything printing. So printing, as you know, can be quite limited, limited by the material available in the
Yep.
market, which is majority is not even tested. I suppose. I mean,
Yeah.
it is still very.
Yeah, the biocompatible sticker is actually quite important. I mean,
Yes.
if you're looking to do things ethically and properly, that
Yeah.
stuff is pretty important.
Problem is biocompatible depends on region. I mean, like you have FDA approved, CE approved. Every country has their own pharmaceutical boards. So
Yep.
for us, I don't think currently we have any of these regulations, which is good. So we can actually just do whatever we want. I mean, of course, up to your ethical, your
Threshold.
yeah,
Your
Thanks
ethical
for that.
threshold.
Thanks
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess so. So 3D printing is actually quite limited. I'm looking towards milling, hopefully.
Yeah.
And
3D printing doesn't provide you too much apart from possibly dentures as a final product of some sort, a final restoration.
yeah,
Yeah. I
correct.
think
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
and
It's useful. It helps you along the way, but it doesn't really give you too much finality to a
yeah,
situation.
I,
Other than
I agree
dentures.
to that.
Yeah. And finally, Dr. Lai, how do you feel? This is a traditional question that we ask often, so I'm going to do it once again. How do you feel? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel calm and serene? Are you sort of resolute and excited for the challenges ahead? Where do you stand right now? Where's your mental space?
Okay, so of course I feel very tired, exploring so many things at once. But at the same time, I'm also very excited for digital dentistry because I feel it's a huge game changer. So it is like introducing the internet to the world. It opens up many possibilities. So uh, I would also like to say that actually in digital dentistry, many people will be like me, will be in fear of being left out and would like to jump in the wagon without. I mean, like because of this pressure, peer pressure, everybody wants to just get a foot into this digital dentistry. But I would like to emphasize also that digital dentistry is ultimately just a tool. And I believe that for, I think, a younger dentist like me should focus on basic fundamentals. Basic fundamentals is never changed since the very beginning. So I think it is, don't bother about this digital dentistry for now. Don't let it distract you. Just focus on your basic fundamentals. For example, just do a proper crown prep, do a proper filling, do a proper scaling, just get your fundamentals strong. And then I believe it's never too late to step into digital dentistry. For example, just look at our parents. When they were born, they do not have mobile phones. Now look at them right now. They are actually using WhatsApp, which is a mobile phone and the internet and social media, which never existed when they were going through their adulthood. So I feel it is okay. I mean, it's never too late to involve yourself in digital dentistry, and don't feel bad if you feel like a digital dinosaur. Some people, I mean, they are calling themselves digital dinosaurs. I mean, I feel that it's okay. I mean, everybody learn, right? Yeah, I believe. Yeah. So I
So honestly, with all of these digital tools, we're not reinventing sliced bread. Essentially, all of these digital tools, what they're doing is taking your practical analog skills and they're digitizing them. But that doesn't mean that you can't use your experience to then infect and make your digital work better, because that plays a big role in it too. If you're designing a crown digitally, but you have no clinical practice, the way you go about designing your crown is not going to be effective for the patient. So I would have to fully agree with you. Don't be in a rush to jump into digital dentistry. Get your fundamentals right. I think that's pretty powerful right there.
I think it's a very wonderful summary from you.
I agree. I think that's good. Yeah. Well, I honestly have to say, just keep it up, Dr. Lai. I think what you're doing is great. Keep going, keep pushing, keep having those endless nights, sleepless nights, and definitely you will make it big.
I,
Relentless attitude.
thank you for that. But there's one thing I would like to add on regarding universities, right? So what I feel is that the syllabus has been I think the same for since a few decades ago. I mean, there's not much changes, I believe, yeah, other than just incorporation of root canal treatment. I think other than that, there's nothing much added into the syllabus, which is I'm not sure how old is that. I think it's good to learn about how. I mean, some of them are still learning about GV black cavities, amalgam cavities. So I believe it's quite outdated, but I hope that one day I will be actually invited into a university to maybe to teach digital dentistry to students or postgraduates alike. So that's something that I need to add on. But I just hope that I can actually
Teach them,
contribute.
show them what's possible.
Yes, I wish that implantology and of course digital dentistry can be introduced into a syllabus, undergraduate syllabus. I really hope so one day.
Well, I think the way that how you're going, Dr. Jimmy, I think you definitely be able to bring a big contribution to our dentistry as a whole.
In Malaysia, yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I think we're coming to the end of this session. Perhaps I would I have something to say. I mean, I would like to thank you, Bio 3D, for this session. I mean, because what you're doing, you're actually connecting people which are working very hard, like me, which doesn't have a life, which works in a solidarity. Dentists, I mean, normally dentists they work in. I mean, they don't really mix around. But you guys are doing now, you're actually connecting these people together. I feel that it's a very noble effort, really. Thank you. So thank you very much for actually organizing this, making this happen. It's a great honor for me to be part of it.
Sure. Well, it's a great honor to have you on our podcast as well, and thank you very much again for your time. We know that you don't have much free time, as through the podcast we've learnt. But yes, again, appreciate having you on the show, and maybe we might be able to have you again on maybe in the future. Thank you very much for your time.
Sure, thank you. Now, if I were to hang up, I were to start working again. Technician time.
Technician time. Okay. Love this episode of Let's Get Pivotal? Head over to iTunes, Spotify, or Google Podcasts to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Until next time, be well and stay safe.